Welcome to the 2024 Spikers Turf Invitational Conference. You're watching Filipinas Live. This is the Navigators Iloilo going up against the PGJC Navy Sea Lions. We still have a few moments before we start things off with the first serve. Paulo de Rosario alongside Neil Flores on the call here for you. Ayana Perlas joins us on the sidelines later on. Neil, let's talk first about how these two teams, again, a measure of success in the Open Conference. Things have started out a bit slowly for both of them here. The Navigators Iloilo coming off back-to-back losses, while the PGJC Navy coming off a loss in their last game. Just what is different this time around for both these squads?
I guess we're still looking for the fire that they displayed in the Open Conference. And I'm talking about both teams. Itong the Navigators and PGJC Navy. Both entered the semifinals. Nagharap pa nga sila sa bronze medal. But we're still waiting for the full confidence to really shine here in the preliminaries of our invitationals.
All right, let's turn over to the venue announcer to find out the starters for today's match.
Presenting our officials for this match. First referee, Miss Joy de Imus, AVC International Referee. Second referee, Mr. Patrick Alan Castillo, National Referee. Let's welcome our starting lineup from our The Navigators Iloilo. Let's begin with their team captain. He wears jersey number 6, John Michael Apolinario. At number 2, Kyle Angelo Villamor. Wearing jersey number 7, JV Sumagaysay. At number 11, Edward Camposano. Number 14, Abdurasad Nursidik. And number 18, Madzian Gampong. Starting libero is number 17, John Maru Takeda. Head coach, Mr. Rizalito, Coach Boyet Del Moro. Calling on our PGJC Navy Sea Lions. Let's begin with their team captain. He wears jersey number 16, Seaman Second Class Greg Dolor. At number 6, Nilo Hasmin. Wearing jersey number 9, Louis Pudadera. At number 11, Seaman Second Class Omar Liok. Number 15, Seaman Second Class Peter Kiel. And at number 18, Seaman Second Class Joven de la Vega. Starting libero is number 10, Jeremy Santos. And sitting in as head coach, Mr. Coach Mike Santos. This is match number 16, preliminary round.
The PGJC Navy Sea Lions against the D Navigators Iloilo. Let's take a look at the lineup here for D Navigators. John Apolinario did not play in the last game. Will be starting here today. Let's see if he can make a difference. A lot of familiar names here. Gampong, Sumagaysay, and so much more. On the other end, a couple of changes here also for the PGJC Navy Sea Lions. Hasmin and Pudadera starting for the first time here in this competition. Let's see if this is the start that they'll need to get a win here and get back on the winning track. Two teams coming off losses in their last game. The D Navigators, 2 straight losses, does not want to make it 3. While the PGJC Navy Sea Lions want to make sure that they go back and get on the winning ratio in terms of standing. Set number 1 coming right up here at the United Sports Arena in Pasig City. Thank you very much for joining us. On the right of your screen is the Navy. On the left are D Navigators. And that time, just able to get that in, talking about the D Navigators.
That's a great start for the Navigators. You mentioned the starting setter in Apolinario. Siya naman talaga yung naging original na setter ng The Navigators. But they included the veteran in Kim Dayan Dante. Tapos nandyan pa si Lopez, who used to play for VNS. And for the PGJC Navy, there are a lot of familiar names. Toto de la Vega, Greg Dolor, Peter Kiel, sila pa din naman yung magli-lead ng team na to. And right now, they just got their first point.
Omar Liok scoring the first point here for the PGJC Navy Sea Lions. Nagalit siya because out of all the names Neil mentioned, did not mention his. Apolinario with the setup from the back. That time could not get beyond the tape. As, of course, the Navigators, you take a look at their rough start here, 2 straight losses. You don't want to get into the habit of being a streaky team, losing 2-3 games in a row before getting another win, or else that could spell danger throughout the conference as they go from one end to the other. Great defensive effort coming from Santos. Villamor, soft touch, pop right back up. Asmin could not score that time. Double block comes up, and that time pushed to the side, and just wide.
The intention was crystal clear for Gampong. Nakita mo yung delay. He wanted to get a touch on one of the blockers first. But Toto de la Vega also read that play well. Binaba niya bigla yung kamay niya. And usually, the opposite hitters do that pag alam nila na papatamain na lang sa mga kamay nila.
And great defensive effort. And we're actually thankful that Greg Lord elected not to jump over the official's table. But that time, point going to the Navigators. Chance here for the Navigators to tie things up. Villamor with the serve a while ago. Dolor scoring off the block.
I would say that these two teams are evenly matched when you take out the player composition sa starting unit. Even yung second stringers nila, ang ganda ng matchups natin. So I really don't know what to expect, but I'm sure they will go all out kasi mahirap maghabol ng panalo, especially in the midpoint of the preliminary round.
Well, the Navy sends that long. Don't see Greg Dolor, who scored a while ago, 9 points lang in that last game. I only say lang because we all know he is a potential top scorer of this team.
20 plus points, yan yung normal kay Greg Dolor. So
Kayang-kaya
the
niya.
9 wasn't his best game for sure.
Returning the point there with a service error as the PGJC Navy Sea Lions lead by 2. And of course, we saw the standings a while ago. Nakita natin that there are 2 teams at the top of the table that we probably did not expect. Maybe they did expect it internally, talking about FEU and Savuch. As that is a great service ace. Dips at the right time.
You also want to get bonus points from that service line. You have to use that as your first point of attack.
De La Vega finding that hole right before the back row. Able to chase that down. Free ball to play with. And that time, just letting it go out. Just great reading of the game there. Santos made sure that, all right, nothing to worry about.
Sometimes sinasadya din ng mga libero yon para mangasar.
Parang sa atin yata kasi di natin kita from our point of view. And another service saves. They have been on point from service line here. Talking about the PGJC Navy Sea Lions as we go into our first technical timeout. Don't go away.
You're still watching the Spikers Surf Invitational Conference 2024. Now, Paolo and Neil, like what you guys mentioned earlier, a rough start for the D Navigators, and head coach Boyet Del Moro did share with me that yes, the difference between last conference and this conference is glaring, and they have a lot of talent in this conference. But then as of this moment, it's really an issue of commitment and fire. Commitment, since a lot of their players are still in college, they're still college students, so they have not had complete training yet, which contributes to the team's lack of fire. Now, head coach Coach Boyet Del Moro did mention that they badly need this win in order to ignite that fire again and hopefully help them reach their main goal, and that is to, syempre, iangat yung team standing nila. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much for that report. That was Ayana Perlas, and ang hirap nun in terms of trying to find dedication, motivation sometimes. Understandable because of the stuff happening outside the court in real life, especially for those who are actually students as well.
Again, you just have to play with the cards that you have right now. And for the Navigators, they are missing their best receiver. So that can have a negative impact dun sa flow ng laro nila. But right now, they just have to get their attacks in. Kasi dun sila naglalag behind PGJC Navy.
Well, so far, PGJC Navy has been smooth sailing here. 10-4 right now.
Yeah.
Great start for Navy. And again, we look at the talent that the D-Navigators have. A bit obvious that they are playing below their expectations at the moment.
And Apolinario also has to adjust to the sets kasi for the past games, si Kim Dayan Dante yung nagsisimula for the Navigators.
Speaking of Apolinario, set that up well, but the triple block covered it.
Nothing's going right for the Navigators. They're trailing by 7 and now mukhang magpapalit si Coach Del Moro ng setter. Lopez will be the playmaker and Sabando will be replacing Mads Gampong as the opposite hitter.
So let's see whether or not they can make that difference. Well, at this point, might as well try to shuffle things around and see what can be done. PGJC Navy Sea Lions still ahead 11-4 after what was a very strong start for them, leading into the first technical timeout. Pero syempre, as commentators do, they end up cursing the team that they're talking about or complimenting.
Lalo na pag ikaw.
Oh, lalo na pag ako. Doesn't matter kung anong sport. Basketball, free throw, wala, mintis. Service line error. Sa volleyball, happens every time. That's a lot better coming from the Navigators, finally ending that drought.
Villamor will get his first point of the match and he has been the most efficient attacker for the Navigators in this conference. Taas ng porsyento every time he goes up for that hit.
Has to work a bit on yung consistency though kasi naka-3 points lang siya sa huling laro niya.
Now the middle blockers have been so active on the side of PGJC Navy. Look at that back quick play, only a single blocker from the Navigators.
And the Navigators have been a bit lost here. But as I say that, Magaysay answers back with 1.
Looks like he got triggered from that back quick play. Wanted to get his own version of a quick attack in. That will be a point for the Navigators.
Not much PGJC Navy could do about that. That's from Magaysay. Goes to the service line. Leok unable to score off the block. Lopez with the setup. Single block. And the point will go the way of Navy.
That was a perfect set actually from Lopez. Getting the commitment of the middle blocker of PGJC Navy. Villamor was only up against a single blocker but mukhang mas mataas yung set na preferred niya.
Yung follow through was the one that hit the net. Again, the net defense here is going to be something to watch out for the Navy as that did not even cross the tape.
That will be the 8th unforced error for the Navigators in this opening set.
Well, timeout on the floorless, isn't it?
Ball dapat taas mo na lang. Awkward ang bola. Pag lang, di ba? Kaya pala. Pala ko, tingnan natin. Sige, sige, basta usap-usap lang. Usap-usap. Pigilin dyan, ha? Pigilin nyo, pigilin nyo. Sabay. Come on. Let's go. Go. Abi!
Again, D Navigators still looking for a way to get back into this game. 14-7, PGJC Navy doubles up their advantage.
They need to figure something out. Ito na ang kalamangan ng PGJC Navy to limit their errors. Again, 8 na yan from the Navigators.
Pudadera on the service line para sa Navy. Lopez with the setup. He goes to the back, and that time the single block, unable to keep it in.
Sabando pulls one back after that strong hit. Might just be the spark plug that the Navigators need. Ben San Andres, surprisingly, is on the bench right now. Mamaya siguro ipapasok.
In other words,
kailangan na.
May options talaga ang D Navigators. At that time, Nasmin first to the ball.
Miscommunication error between Lopez and Nur Sidik.
15-8 the count here as Omar Liok goes to the service line. The PGJC Navy Sea Lions have played a great game from the service line so far. Dahil na-mention ko, tignan natin. And that's a good serve. Lopez. They score off the block.
Again, that was Villamor getting another point.
And you mentioned a while ago, typically, normally, napaka-efficient si Villamor. Just has to deal with that consistency of being able to produce night in, night out. And that will send us to our second technical timeout. The PGJC Navy Sea Lions up 16-9 against the Navigators Iloilo. Don't go away. You're watching Spikers Turf on Pilipinas Live.
Ang ano kasi namin is nung last conference is medyo nakulangan kami siguro sa kung sa skills is mga service receive, mga ganyan lang. Pero sa jail ng team is maganda yung jail ng team namin last conference kaya umabot kami sa bronze last season. Ngayon, madadala namin yung performance namin nung last kasi more on kami, out of system. Kumbaga, 80% ng laro namin is parang pag nag-miss-receive kami, dapat alam namin kung anong gagawin namin.
The PGJC Navy Sea Lions looking to go a step further this conference, but they need to get going here early on. Already trying to bounce back from an early loss this conference. And they are trying to do that against a familiar rival in D Navigators, who have struggled this conference as well. 2 back-to-back losses for D Navigators as both teams trying to get back on the winning track. I'm Paulo De Rosario alongside Neil Flores. Ayana Perlas is on the sidelines for us. 16-9 as PGJC Navy have controlled this first frame so far. And point goes the way of D Navigators.
There's a rotation error on the floor from PGJC Navy. I think it was the wrong server.
Well, it's one of those things wherein maybe they could have asked, and that would have changed things.
And the team captains can actually ask the technical table kung tama yung server nila. So we're now double-checking everything to make sure.
Napaka-frustrating mga points na yun. I mean, it could have been completely avoidable and could have prevented the other team from getting any sort of momentum, because at the moment, the Navigators are looking for any sort of rhythm in this game. As they are still sorting things out here. As PGJC Navy is being instructed on just what the rotation should have been. You don't see Coach Mike is also listening in.
So it should be Hasmin on the service line.
So there's confirmation of the rotation error, as the point will go the other way, and that is well welcome respite para sa D Navigators Iloilo, as they have cracked double digits. And that's much better. Sumanggaysay makes it back-to-back points here for D Navigators.
PGJC Navy needs to be careful about those unnecessary errors kasi you might just give the momentum back to the Navigators.
11 serving 16 as Dolor sends that wide, and 3 straight points right off the second technical timeout.
Just what they needed. They're now forcing PGJC Navy to commit more errors. Score was 9-16 a while ago. Apat na lang ang lamang ng PGJC Navy.
That time, Dolor on target, but great defensive effort for D Navigators, and look who woke up.
Let's give credit first to Nursidik. It was an excellent dig. Perfectly placed defensive stop.
Nag-error lang tayo sa rotation, nabago na yung ano natin. Nabago na agad yung mindset natin. Bawin natin. Ha? Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go, let's go. Ah, putol mo ito tayo. Focus sa basa. Next rally na ulit. Next rally. Let's go, Navy!
Great point coming from Coach Mike. Nag-rotation error, then biglang ibang-iba na yung mindset nila.
It was such a simple mistake from PGJC Navy, and sometimes yun yung hindi pala sometimes, most of the time, yun yung ayaw ng coaches. Di bali nang mamatayan tayo ng palo, ng block, if we commit an error on the receiving end, but never dun sa mga rotation errors kasi dapat aware yung players on the floor.
Kumbaga, parang hindi sila locked in. Kung ganun. As Greg Dolor sets it up, gets it back. Second chance, not that time. D Navigators defense works so far. And a miscommunication. And that is another straight point para sa D Navigators.
That is 5 straight points, 5-0 run for the Navigators. They're 2 points away from tying this ball game up.
Another look at that here. And the miscom coming from D Navigators, and all of a sudden, rather from the Navy, as D Navigators all of a sudden are back in this one. 6 straight points coming off the second technical timeout, and we're almost knotted up with D Navigators trailing 15-16.
It just started with a simple rotation error, but now wala nang gumagana for PGJC Navy, so they really need to get a break point.
Well, anything will do here just to stop the run. Navy finally do so.
Clean hit from Toto de la Vega.
And it wasn't seen on camera, but si Coach Mike had a sigh of relief as soon as they scored this and ended a 6-0 run. And a service ace to boot. 2-0 run for them here. Back-to-back points.
He has been very consistent at the start of this Invitational Conference, being the top scorer in their last game with 16 markers, followed by Greg Dolor with 9.
Our good serve. Lopez with a setup. Oh, ran straight into that one.
That was the job of Lopez, to give some space to the attackers para ma-convert ng set, and he was able to do that. Single block coverage from PGJC Navy, not enough to stop that attack from Edward Camposano.
Itong D Navigators Iloilo, I think one of the big differences here is that after that little rally, after that little run, even if they are trailing by 2, nakangiti na sila. You can see it in their body language. Things have changed. There's all of a sudden a sense of belief in this group. That time scoring off the block. The Navy increased their lead to 3 after seeing it trimmed down to 1.
Right now, iniiba-iba na ng PGJC Navy yung tempo nila. They're trying to run different combination plays just to confuse JV Sumagaysay.
And here's Greg Dolor para sa PGJC Navy. And that time, hanap sila ng check ball. It won't be given.
Yeah.
challenge dito, looking for that block touch. So we have our first challenge of the game, courtesy of the D Navigators Iloilo. Score at the moment, 19-16 para sa PGJC Navy. But can they get up to 17 here with that block touch challenge? We're going to find out in just a bit. Once again, thank you very much for joining us dito sa Pilipinas Live. You're watching the Spikers Turf Invitational Conference, wherein, to be honest, nakagulat yung mga ibang results. And very interesting start to this conference.
I think that's a pleasant surprise for all of the fans of the other teams. Kasi yun naman ang gusto natin to elevate that playing, to even out the playing field. Para hindi natin alam kung sino talaga ang aangat. But there was no block touch. The last hit of Edward Camposano. So that will be unsuccessful for the Navigators.
Well, they felt it was close. At alam mo, in real time, might have really believed that to be true. Ito naman si Greg Dolor still on service line para sa PGJC Navy Sea Lions. Have gone a little bit of a run themselves. Leave a 4-0 run here so far. Meeting at the net. And that touched the antenna. The point rather, will go to Navy.
Set was too close. Now, Benson Andres will check in for Villamor. Kailangan ni Coach Boyet ng matibay na receiver at this junction of the opening set.
And San Andres will have the chance to leave his mark against the PGJC Navy. Greg Dolor on the service line, 21-16 is the score. And San Andres receives first. And there they are, scoring off the block.
JV Sumagaysay just wanted to put that ball over. It wasn't the optimal set that he wanted. Pero naitaas na kasi yung bola. So he had to find a way to push that ball over. Luckily, it was still converted into a point. You can clearly see him saying na mababa yung set. And now he puts up a monster block against Peter Kiel.
21-18, the Navigators look dead and buried after the first technical timeout, but then a good run from them and individual play like this have brought them closer and closer to the PGJC Navy Sea Lions. Sabando with the setup. San Andres. Ooh. Oh, great defensive effort for Leo, but unable to chase it.
Reaction time is everything when you're chasing a ball. And Dolor was in a good position to actually chase that one. Pero mukhang tumingin muna siya sa kakampi niya before he moved. Look at that second of hesitation.
That made all the difference, but that makes a difference as well. Service error makes it 22-19. All of a sudden, PGJC Navy Sea Lions on the cusp of taking the first frame. Just 3 points away. Ang mga D Navigators Iloilo still finding their way through. As Sabando scores, putting that through the double block.
Good substitution for Coach Del Moro. That was the second point of Sabando. Just trying to change the pace of this game.
Naman si JB Sumagaysay on the service line for D Navigators has been standing out here so far. And that time, no stopping Villanueva.
Ito yung gusto ni Coach Mike. Pag lahat ng attackers ng PGJC Navy nakaka-convert, it will give them a significant advantage against the Navigators.
Okay, kapitan pa natin yan. Kapit ha.
Kapit.
Nakahabol na tayo ng malayo eh. Hindi nakadikit na eh.
Kapit ka na.
Pre, kahit lamang sila sa atin momentum
Pag may
yan,
in-system, pag may in-system kasi,
Usap lang
ang
tayo,
blocker
usap
nila
lang.
yan, nakascatter yan. So yung quicker mo, pag alawin mo, ikaw bahala dito, pwede ka magpapasok ng fight.
Tsaka ano lang, yun lang, enjoy lang tayo. Hey, Navi!
Well, D Navigators coming out with a bit of spirit after that timeout. Let's take a look at that here, though. That last point scored by the PGJC Navy. Villanueva skying for it.
Get that above the double block of the Navigators. now they're just 2 points away from grabbing the first set.
Nakita natin parang iba na yung galaw ng PGJC rather ng D Navigators after what was a very tepid start dito sa set number 1. Lopez with a setup. San Andres and Mursidik did not know who that was for, but PGJC Navy will say, well, that point was for us.
There are some pros and cons pag madalas magpalit ng setter. Pros, iba-iba yung discard nila. But again, the cons, sometimes magkakaamuyan pa eh. Kasi there are different types of sets for these setters.
And it looks like there's going to be a challenge here coming from PGJC Navy. It'll be a block touch challenge. I believe the PGJC Navy believe that the ball did not go beyond the net. And a chance here for them to take the frame should they win this challenge. Kaya napaka-importante din to. Of course, we have to give credit to how impressive the Navy Sea Lions have looked, especially prior to that rotation error. They look very well oiled. But since then, medyo nagba-back and forth na tayo between runs from the Navigators and the PGJC Navy Sea Lions, and we're going to be wondering if that is still going to be the case going into set number 2. As we are still awaiting the result of this challenge. Again, a block touch challenge. Kasi feeling ng coaching staff ng Navy, hindi po nakakross ang bola from the net in that last attack.
That might just be the winning point for PGJC Navy, but we still need to review the official footage from our challenge system to determine if there was a block touch.
Or if it crossed the net at all. Absolutely right. Navy, they're actually just, at this point, they're watching themselves on screen. So let's take a look if there's a block touch, and ooh, no block touch there.
Yep. Great challenge from PGJC Navy, and that will be the winning point for the Sea Lions.
To make it 25-20 in favor of PGJC Navy. Set number 1 goes to Navy as they hold off a mini rally from D Navigators Iloilo in the middle of set number 1. Don't go away, we'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching the 2024 Spikers Turf Invitational Conference, 25-20 in favor of the PGJC Navy Sea Lions against the Navigators Iloilo in the first frame. Let's take a look at some of the highlights here. And we were worried about a few things. One, the Navy's attack going into this game in particular. They had poor attacking numbers last time around. And of course, the net offense and defense of the Navigators Iloilo.
Actually, in set number 1, the PGJC Navy didn't need to attack as much because they just maximized the free points given to them by the Navigators. Look at that, 13 opponents' errors galing sa Navigators. That is a lot, 9 of which came from their attacks. So konti lang talaga yung opportunities ng PGJC Navy to get those points in 7 compared to the 14 of the Navigators. So you would think na pag tinignan mo yung attack and blocking, mas nakakalamang yung Navigators. It's just that they just made a lot of mistakes in set number 1. Although PGJC Navy also had that fair share, especially when they committed that rotational error, dun nagsimula na makahabol ang Navigators. So here in the second set, we're at an even slate,
Yes.
clean slate, so you have to play at a clean level para at least yung scoring skills ang magde-determine ng result.
I think it's fair to say na medyo self-inflicted ang mga errors ng Navigators. It was just a series of errors there that did not allow them to push themselves through. Pero nakita rin natin that they have the ability to go on rallies, to go and dominate parts of this game after that 6-0 rally that they had to make it a close game after the second technical timeout.
Top scorers for the Navigators are Camposano with 5 and Sumagaysay with 4. And for PGJC Navy, it's De La Vega with 5 and Villanueva with 2. Dolor has been quiet, only a single point in the opening set.
Well, I think we can also say he has been quiet for now because we all know the type of noise he could make once given the opportunity at kung nahanap niya ang rhythm niya. We'll see if that is going to be the case here today. Welcome to set number 2. Thank you very much for joining us here on Pilipinas Live. If you are around the area, malapit sa Inaat Sports Arena in Pasig, do come on over and meet Neil Flores. Or for those who are fans of Philippine Pop, Ayana Perlas is on the sidelines as well.
Makisayaw kayo with Ayana here.
Yes. Set number 2 on the way here as the PGJC Navy Sea Lions are trying to double up. And that was an irresistible hit from Leon.
Again, the Sea Lions are off to a good start. Yan naman ang laging hinihingi ng mga head coach. We just have to start the right way.
And of course, the Navy will want to avoid yung laps na nakita natin after that rotation error. Napaka-glaring kasi yung laps na yun to the point that they had to call a timeout specifically for that. And a 2-0 start here for Navy.
Espanto is now in as the libero of the Navigators. They might feel the absence of Adao. Again, 60% in their last game against Chris Cross, and the King Crunchers are heavy servers. So to be able to garner that efficiency rate, sabihin matibay ka talaga sa first pass. This is now a 3-0 blitz for the Sea Lions. Very similar from set number 1, but now sila yung nakakakuha ng puntos from the scoring skills.
3-0 start, as you mentioned a while ago, as the PGJC Navy Sea Lions are going to try and maintain this momentum, unlike what we saw in set number 1. Medyo back and forth ang laro as San Andres finally ends the drought here for the Navigators.
Playing it smart, kitang-kita naman niya. It was Toto de la Vega in front for the block. Saw that opportunity for a tip.
Nung si Barbie San Andres coming off the bench, making an impact already. Ooh, that was a teasing serve, and that point will go straight to the Navigators as San Andres has made an instant impact in this one.
There was a lifting violation called on the setter of PGJC Navy.
So it'll be a lifting violation instead, but here is San Andres. Let's take a look at that. Almost a miscue, kept alive. San Andres gives a free ball away. Pudadera with the setup. And brushed off the hands of the blockers.
Hasmin has registered 2 points already in the second set. If you get the chance, bigyan mo ng bigyan yung middle blocker because that will be the only way to free up your wings.
That time sent straight to the net. And you know, that was actually going to be one of the points I wanted to bring up here, just how important the middles will be in this particular matchup. Kasi nakita natin, the Navigators struggled in the middle in their last game in particular. Habang wala naman atake ang PGJC Navy in their last game. Getting past a single block and meeting at the net. Kept alive, Camposano. Oh, what a hit.
Nobody blocked Edward Camposano. That was definitely a mistake from PGJC Navy. We know that Edward Camposano will deliver a lot of powerful hits. Kahit na vertical jump lang, he wanted to get that point for his team.
Pudadera.
Great reverse set, but better block from Edward Camposano.
Edward Camposano stepping up. 5-4 is the score. As we take a look at that again. Yan yung athletic block. That's what we can call an athletic block. As Nur Siddiq is on the service line. D Navigators have taken the lead here after what was a great start from Navy. And they answer back. Game of runs talaga ang laro na to.
PGJC Navy really needs the numbers of Greg Dolor kasi kung puro si Toto de la Vega lang ang pupuntos, eventually mababantayan niya ng blockers ng The Navigators.
Kaya napakataas ang standard natin para kay Greg Dolor. We think and we believe that yung 9 points na nakuha niya in his last game was far below yung standard niya. As that time, tiptoed across the line. Naman si Camposano, soft touch, and that will be a net violation against Navy.
Kuha ni Edward yung gigil ni Peter Kiel.
Makikita natin dito.
Yeah,
Yan.
that was such an aggressive block na hindi niya na nakontrol yung follow-through.
Pudadera with the setup. And an even better block. The Navigators all of a sudden scoring in a variety of ways. Net defense chiefly here in the last few points.
So right now, it's JV Sumagaysay with the defensive stops. It's Edward Camposano with the offensive strikes. Turning up to be the dynamic duo for this game.
And that is a much-needed respite para sa PGJC Navy. Seven to 6. One more for D Navigators to send us to our first technical timeout of the second frame. As you have Greg Dolor on service line here for Navy. Trying to knock things up at 7-all.
Oh, great find from Lopez. Kita niya tumatakbo ba si Dolor, so he saw that corner pocket open.
And just like that, we go to our first technical timeout with D Navigators up by 2.
Welcome back to Spikers Turf Invitational Conference 2024, where power meets passion. Now, Paulo Neal also experiencing the same thing as the D Navigators. The PGJC Navy Sea Lions haven't had a complete training session yet due to their military duties. But assistant coach Cecil Cruzada shared with me how fired up her team is for this conference. Now, before this conference, they had the choice to join or not, and it came from the team themselves that they needed to join. Yes, they needed to join. They were the ones who pushed the management to allow them, dahil isa lang ang goal nila, iangat ang bronze medal nila. They were able to do it before, and they can do it all again, but even better. Now we have here a comment from one of our viewers from the Spikers Turf at Micah 1411. Grabe pumalo yung De La Vega, kawawa yung bola. Char. Now for those of you who wanna comment and join the conversation, please use the hashtag #SpikersTurf2024. We are reading your comments, and don't forget to follow us as well on Instagram and Facebook at Spikers Turf to stay updated from your favorite games and your favorite teams. And of course, back to you guys. What did you think of her comment?
Mga kaibigan, please mag-comment po kayo kasi babasahin po ni Ayana Perlas.
And don't forget to tag Ayana
Don't
Perlas.
forget to tag Ayana Perlas, Char, as the Navigators Iloilo have found a way to really push the buttons here, the PGJC Navy Sea Lions here in set number 2.
They have played their substitutions well. Talking about the Navigators. I mean, San Andres has to be in the starting unit.
What a difference San Andres has made in this one. As the Navigators have been sinking PGJC Navy Sea Lions here in set number 2. Even their blocking on point.
No coverage behind Leo. Now the Navigators have established a 4-point lead.
Ito naman si Sumugaysay on the service line, trying to continue the good run for the Navigators. Pudadera with the setup from the back. Oh, ran straight into it. Well, sabi nga sa social media comments, kawawa yung bola. As De La Vega will be challenged here for a footfall.
Ben San Andres was saying that hindi naman nila nahawakan. So I thought that they would be challenging for a block touch. But when they raised that challenge card up, it was a footfall challenge apparently.
Klinaro nila sa officials na it's a back row foot fault. So we will see. Tama po sila. They already won a crucial chance. And here's a look at that. And no attack line fault. Clear as day. Probably needs a couple of inches in his shoes to get to that foot fault. (11-8) here in favor of the D Navigators. As the PGJC Navy are playing catch-up here at the Henares Sports Arena. The setup to San Andres. That time Jasmine De La Vega combines for the double block.
Ito naman yung gusto ng PGJC Navy. They have to force the Navigators to set that ball up to the left wing para kahit papano mas organized yung blocking ng Sea Lions. That was a total shutdown against San Andres.
San Andres had to adjust. De La Vega pops that up. Pudadera back to De La Vega. Ito naman si San Andres ulit. That time the blocking has shut down the production of San Andres.
Has been predictable, especially pagdating sa mga broken plays for the Navigators.
Pangalawa, pasa. Wala tayong pasa.
Sige, go.
Kapitan natin yan. Ha?
Isa, one up tayo, one up.
Si Shop.
Play tayo.
Ay, Shop. Kasi dito abang na abang na siya.
Okay na.
Saan ka? Bakro?
Likod pa.
Bakro. Sige!
Sabay!
Well, I was about to bring that up, Neil. Yung pasahan ng D Navigators has not been at par in the past few points.
Is that the Adaw effect?
Probably. Possibly. 11-10 the count here. D Navigators came up with the lead after a slow start. This is set number 2. San Andres, a big part of that run. But they go to a different option this time, and that time sent it way too long.
That lead is gone.
So
We're now squared up at 11.
all knotted up at 11 as Louis Pudadera is on the service line here for PGJC Navy. We go back to San Andres. That time, same approach, same attack, same result as the PGJC Navy take the lead.
3 straight kill blocks against San Andres that will force Coach Boy Del Moro to call on Villamor again.
Another look at that.
That will be De La Vega's 10th point. He will now be in the double-digit mark.
Oh, barely got that through, by the way, as the Navy score from the back.
When you get Greg Dolor involved in that counter-attack, mas mahirap talagang formahan yon. I mean, look at the defense of the Navigators. The double block was present. But since Greg Dolor is attacking from the back row, mag-a-adjust din pati yung back row pattern.
Oh, nakabalik na si Apolinario as he will try to change things up here for the D Navigators. Na-mention mo kanina, Neil, na medyo predictable na ang attack approach ng D Navigators.
Kaya kailangan ma-address muna nila yung problems on that first pass. Great pick up there from De La Vega.
Great effort, absolutely. And unable to get that across, si Liok tried his best to just pop it up.
Liok wasn't able to backpedal to his proper position. Ang bilis din kasi ng mga
Oo nga eh.
pangyayari eh.
Talagang split second. As it is a 1-point lead here for PGJC Navy. D Navigators looking for the tie. And it looks like the point will go to Navy. Villamor overreaching. Another look at that here. Pudadera and Villamor, and enough for the official to call it.
Oh.
Returns the point, and at least para sa D Navigators, justice is done.
Okay, we're at the midpoint of the second set. Lamang yung PGJC Navy, same situation. So, they have to build on this lead kasi kanina nahabol nga ng Navigators yung 8-point lead na na-establish nila. So, now is the time for you to pull away. And they will be able to pull away if Greg Dolor gets activated.
Again, this is a game of runs. Kanina si San Andres almost unstoppable, and then all of a sudden was not able to score despite 3 different attempts. And dito naman si Greg Dolor and the rest of PGJC Navy Sea Lions a bit in rhythm as Camposano unable to score. So his shot just tickled the tape all the way to the end. Then we go to a second technical timeout with PGJC Navy up by 3.
Sa paulit-ulit na pagkakataon na nasaktan na bigo.
Mukhang delikado na naman ako. Inikilig na naman. Kalimutan ko yung title. Tilaw. Sayang, alam ko yan eh. Nasa ano ko yan eh.
Well, we call that segment Spike the Mic because it feels like that's what they're doing to the mic sometimes. Itong si Apolinario, of course, there on your screen just a while ago. And of course, we encourage everyone to come and join us here dito sa United Sports Arena and continue following us on Pilipinas Live and on One Sports Plus as we see the best of Philippine men's volleyball. It's getting better year after year as the PGJC Navy Sea Lions are trying to see off the D Navigators Iloilo here, and they're going to be hoping, talking about D Navigators, that that little error could help produce something for D Navigators. Norsidik on the service line. Almost a miscommunication there in terms of the reception para sa PGJC Navy. Ito naman si Camposano. Had to adjust. Great defensive effort. Pudadera to De La Vega. Scores off the block.
De La Vega continues to get the points on the attacking end. That will be 11 points already for Joven De La Vega. 6 points here in set number 2, built on 2 attacks and 4 kill blocks.
Impressive numbers, strange numbers sometimes, as Pudadera with the setup. And Camposano able to score. And Coach Mike, even he couldn't keep that in.
Check ball daw, sabi ni Coach Mike. Check ball sa inyo, Coach.
Take a look at that there. So, I don't know kung may slow-mo tayo sa attempt ni Coach Mike. But either way, 17-15. As we take a look at that last attempt there. Ayun, Coach Mike. So, while that happened, by the way, the D Navigators Gave an error away to the PGJC Navy Sea Lions. 3-point lead here for the Navy. Ito naman si Camposano. Able to brush that off the blockers. Pudadera in particular.
And he used his offhand at that, using the left hand to push that ball against the block of the shorter Pudadera. Of course, hindi challenge ni Edward Camposano si Peter Kiel. Ooh, what a pickup from Espanso.
Ito naman si Villamor. Great coverage there from De La Vega. From the back. Oh!
Right now, mas mataas yung efficiency ni Greg Dolor pagdating sa transition play galing sa back row compared to the hits in the front.
Another look at that here. And the Navy actually done a good job attacking from the back row. We've already seen a couple of nice points coming from them from those areas, as Kampong is back in this one. Free ball to play with para sa PGJC Navy. From the back, and that is another point from the back row for the Navy. Cue the timeout. Let's listen in.
Tsagain natin, tsagain. Depensa, pasa, para meron paluin. Pag walang pasa, walang papaluin. Pag hindi rin na-recover yung bola, hindi na-save, wala din papaluin. Game, usap-usap kayo sa loob. Apat lang yan. Lumamang pakatay sa kanila eh.
Go, 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 go.
Abi!
Well, the Navy are trying to put away the D Navigators, while D Navigators are trying to get a bit of that rhythm back, a bit of that mojo that has seemed to gone away in the past few points, especially with how the D Navigators have been utilizing their attacks from the back. Rather, the PGJC Navy have been utilizing their attacks from the back.
You don't want to limit your options sa front line eh. That's why yung mga wing spikers in this league, natutunan na din talaga nila maging consistent for that back row attack.
Well, D Navigators are going to be hoping that that last point will give them a bit of the momentum. As this could be a very decisive frame here, going 2-0 down. As Sumangay Saya was unable to really receive that properly.
Well, he was in the right position. Hindi lang niya na-absorb properly because the hit was so powerful.
Ayun, no? Tamang position, but just unable to get that technique. Naman, from the back for the D Navigators.
Tight.
Able to push that through. Espanso, binigay kay Villamor.
Oh! Nobody got that ball. It was a high rebound from PGJC Navy.
Tinginan na lang si Apolinario at si Espanso. The communication not quite there. I think that was one of the points from their last huddle. The communication has to be present.
Well, listen to this. That was already the 5th block point of De La Vega. Make that 6 kill blocks in one frame. And we're not yet even done.
Sila ba yung nasaktan ng 19 kill blocks in the last game? We'll see as we take a look at that. Again, another kill block, as you mentioned a while ago. And the PGJC Navy Sea Lions are having their way here against D Navigators towards the tail end of set number 2. As we take a look at that again. Now the D Navigators sinking without a trace. Trying to find a bit of momentum going into the next frame. Almost for Villamor. Pudadera goes to the other side, and that's a better kill block.
Hello there, says Nash Nur Siddiq. It's been under the radar. We've seen a lot of points from Camposano and Sumagaysay. But for Nursidic, hindi pa ganun kadami yung attempts na nabibigay sa kanya. And Apolinario has to remember that he was one of the best middle blockers in the Spikers turf.
And that will do it here for Navy as they take the second frame in a 2-0 lead, 25-18 against the Navigators Iloilo. A lot to talk about here. Don't go away. You're still watching Spikers Turf on Filipinas Live. Welcome back. You're still watching Spikers Turf Invitational Conference as the PGJC Navy Sea Lions have a 2-0 lead against the Navigators Iloilo. Let's take a look at some of the set 2 highlights here as the D Navigators were able to have a good rhythm at a certain point here in set number 2, but then PGJC Navy Sea Lions started using a great net defense, particularly from one person. We'll bring that up in just a bit, as the Navy were able to improve on their attacking numbers as well and limit, despite the limited opponent errors produced by the Navigators. Only 6 opponent errors there. But let's take a look at the particular number here, because the 6 block points of Navy all came from one person. That is De La Vega.
That is correct. Again, probably one of his best records. Like in a single set, yung 6 kill blocks niyan, it's very difficult to get a kill block. And to be able to get 6 in one frame says a lot about his timing.
Arena Plus, Astigs Sports, as we welcome you back here to the United Sports Arena. Here's another number that they have to be concerned about, talking about the Navigators. In the last 5 frames that they have played, they have now conceded 27 blocks. That has been a number that has been growing too fast for their liking, I'm sure.
And for the Navigators, they definitely missed their output in set number 1 pagdating sa attacking department. That was 14 compared to the 7 of PGJC Navy. But the Sea Lions have controlled their ship, getting 12 attack points in set number 2 compared to the 7 of the Navigators. Defensively naman, nakakasabay itong Navigators. But yung offense nila, kailangan nilang ibalik. Nabantayan talaga yung mga left pin hitters nila. Now they have to change things up, and magbabalik na ngayon si Kim Dayandante and Mads Gampong in the starting unit.
Well, the PGJC Navy Sea Lions know that they cannot rest easy against the D Navigators. Nakita natin kanina that they have the ability to go on runs, like a 7-0 run that we saw in set number 1, and even take the lead like we saw in set number 2. And that time, they'll take the first point here coming off the block. Again, so many veteran names here for the Navigators. These 2 teams were in the bronze medal matchup in the Open Conference. Both teams looking for that motivation, looking for that consistency, that dedication, as I mentioned in the reports a while ago from Ayana Perlas. And at that time, a rotation error for the D Navigators.
They knew it. San Andres was saying that sa kanya dapat yung service.
And that must be really frustrating because you got the first point, naghabol kayo, you're down 2-0, and then you concede a point like that.
Yeah. Very simple error, but kayang-kayang maiwasan.
San Andres with the reception. Diandante the setup. And that will be out. As the PGJC Navy Sea Lions are going to be hoping that they have the opportunity to create some momentum for themselves. Ito naman si Omar Liok on the service line para sa Sea Lions.
What a serve. Such a difficult target. He was able to catch that sideline.
And Liok will try to replicate that here. Already, that's ace number 5, by the way, from the PGJC Navy in this game. Free ball to play with. The Navigators, who they turn to. Diandante with the setup. So they couldn't do much with it. He'll try again, and that time scoring off the block.
That ball found the floor. It was an invalid pancake save from Greg Dolor.
Well, the Navigators trying to keep in pace here with Navy, but sends that straight back by the service error. And that will be long. Great read from San Andres. Did not pick that up. And we take a look at the total service error numbers here. The Navigators with 8, Navy with 7. And that was a great hit coming from Dolor. Again, the man that we're expecting a bit more from.
A while ago, he was dealing damage from that back row pipe attack. Now, he's adding on to his tally in the front row. So that's still a good sign for Coach Mike.
Yeah.
Lahat kasi nagko-contribute from their end.
And Toto De La Vega gives that away. Again, the service error count has been piling up for both these teams. I believe that is number 8 for the Sea Lions. Villamor with the serve. Gonna get Kiel. Kiel with the kill. Let's take a look at that again.
Power tip works. Drop right in front of Espanso.
Greg Dolor, ever steady. Ito naman si Diandante with the setup. Santos. And that time, the Navy read that perfectly.
That was the correct decision from Pudadera. Instead of getting a soft rebound from Sumagaysay, mas naging offensive siya dun sa strategy niya in that pass.
Diandante. And there they are scoring off the block. Lida Sumagaysay.
Still a bright spot for the Navigators.
Don't see JB Sumagaysay. Only had 1 point though in their last game. And much improved production this time around, but still so far hasn't been too much. As I say that, let's ignore that for now. As we go to the first technical timeout with a 3-point lead para sa Navy.
Welcome back to the Spikers Turf Invitational Conference 2024, where power meets passion. Now, Paolo and Neil, earlier you were talking about JB Sumagaysay of the D Navigators and how he only scored 1 point in their last game. And I was able to talk to him as he is the core glue and veteran of the D Navigators. And of course, he admitted to me how challenging the past few games have been for him as a senior. Knowing the influence that he has towards the younger ones, he always has to be in tip-top shape no matter what the situation may be. Now, nafe-feel niya yung pressure daw due to this and does have a tough time igniting the fire again, but he aims to always end every huddle with the same phrase: let's not waste our time and effort, let's play as one again, and hopefully this will help the D Navigators in their next games to come. Back to you guys.
Maraming salamat. That was Ayana Perlas with that report. Of course, Sumagaysay, he mentions the pressure of being a veteran as the monitor is knocked down. The monitor is knocked down, and Neil Flores has to bring it back up.
Okay, hindi mo nasira. Okay lang tayo. Okay, kinabahan, Coach.
We're okay. Akala na babayaran nila eh. But at the moment, we were talking about yung pressure ni Sumagaysay to be able to lead this group, especially kasi reputasyon din niya eh. He is one of the more steadier players dito sa Spikers Turf, and he hasn't been delivering in the last game in particular.
Galing ding champion team itong si Mads Campong, former HD Spiker, now with the Navigators. Oh, what a pickup from Espanso.
The Navigators aren't done yet. Santos tried to save it. De La Vega couldn't give chase.
Let's give credit to Espanso for that dig. Gave an opportunity to San Andres. Put that ball away.
And a chance here for Navy. But then Leo shut down by the triple block.
Three-man block working for the Navigators. Now they're just down by a single point. In all of the sets that we've played so far, nadidikitan naman ng Navigators yung Navy. Kahit na lumalamang yung PGJC Navy. It's just that nakaka-pull away yung Sea Lions. But now the ball game is tied once again at 9 apiece.
It reminds me of yung first frame natin, or at least yung gitna ng first frame natin, wherein the Navigators actually found that groove against the PGJC Navy Sea Lions no matter what. But then so far, everything working out because that's ace number 2 for the Navigators in this game.
For the whole game, and pangalawa na yan ni Dayan Dante, back-to-back service aces. They will now overtake PGJC Navy.
But the question is, masusustain ba kaya ng D Navigators? Getting a bit of help from the tape.
Oh! Blocking, holding up for the Navigators.
De La Vega thought he saw daylight, but not that time. As there's a different energy dito para sa D Navigators as Jacob checks in for Liok. Norin natin ito ulit. De La Vega just slamming that against Nur Siddiq. Jacob. And that,
yes, there was a net infraction.
masyado ka na-excite.
Bukas kasi.
Oo eh, tingnan mo to. Watch Gampong fly in. And just literally
cross the line. Center line fault and net infraction.
lahat
all in
na,
one.
lahat na. San Andres with a defensive effort and the score.
San Andres now working around the block of De La Vega. A while ago, San Andres was shut down 4 consecutive times by De La Vega. Pero ngayon, look at that. Palit ng direksyon, went high and long down the line.
Well, D Navigators trying to
Tight.
extend this contest. And didn't matter for De La Vega.
Napaganda pa.
You know, credit De La Vega kasi nabasa niya yung mga blockers. Take a look at that. See, the hands went down and said that all he needs to do is just push that across. Dayan Dante. De La Vega, another great effort, pero si Yasmin unable to really turn his body.
Patience is key in the sport of volleyball. Sometimes you really need to utilize the 3 touches. So yung mga 1-2 play na yun, mahirap pag mabilisan because you might not get the best timing for the attack.
So, ramdam yung gigil niya dito.
Look at the contact point. It wasn't the optimal hitting point. Ang hinayang din si Coach Mike.
2-point lead para sa D Navigators. Dolor. And you know, this has been a scary place to be, huh? This officials table, a very scary place to be.
We're
in
not
this
part
game.
of the game, guys.
We're not part of the game. We're part of friendly fire. It feels like. As we take a look at that again, it's Sumagaysay thought about it. Kung walang tao dito, sigurado ko, tatalon yan. Dagook on the service line here para sa PGJC Navy. As it is a 1-point lead para sa D Navigators. Dagook, his first effort here is a serve. Dayandante, the setup. The point will go the way of Navy. Pero may challenge ang D Navigators, looking for a check. The question is, did it hit a blocker? O kaya ang buhok ni Dagook? We will find out. Block touch is the challenge.
Is that the first challenge of the Navigators this set? I think so.
This frame, yes. And this is potentially very important considering it is a 1-point game at the moment as the D Navigators are looking to extend this contest 2-0 para sa PGJC Navy after 2 frames. Once again, thank you very much for joining us dito sa One Sports Plus at sa Pilipinas Live. You're watching the Spiker Surf Invitational Conference where power meets passion. Paulo Del Rosario alongside Neil, the real deal Flores. Yes, babalik natin po yan. And of course, our resident pop star, Ayana Perlas, on the sidelines. Of course, thank you very much for joining us for what has been another exciting conference. Simula lang to. Still very surprising results we're seeing all over the board as we're waiting for the result of this particular challenge. And both teams here, D Navigators in particular, needs a win. 2 consecutive losses. Is there a block touch?
No block touch, so that will be unsuccessful for the Navigators. Point will go to PGJC Navy. I'm looking at the number of errors of both teams. 25 na for the Navigators. That's a whole set.
Well, they are losing by 2 sets, unfortunately.
13 for the Sea Lions.
Soft touch and Sumagaysay.
Utakan lang na.
Oh my.
Saw the donut hole in the middle of the defense of PGJC Navy.
Everything is mental. As you see that. Too smart. Minimal effort, maximum effect. As De La Vega answers back to tie things up at 14-all.
You can clearly see kung paano na-impact ng delay ng block yung atake ng kabilang team. JB Sumagaysay was what, 1 second late for that block, and that was enough time for De La Vega to squeeze his ball through.
Dayandante with the setup. De La Vega pops that straight back up. They go to Dolor. Triple block, doesn't matter.
It's go time for Greg Dolor. They need a second top scorer for the Sea Lions to close this out in 3 straight sets. Mukhang Dolor is up for the challenge.
1-point lead, a chance to send us to our second technical timeout, but there will be a foot fault, a serving violation rather, against De La Vega. So we're all tied up at 15-all as Villamor troops the service line on the other end. Kiel? Oh, able to put that back up. Ito naman si Dolor. And we still continue here from the back. De La Vega. Great defensive efforts from both teams. And it would be San Andres who has the final say to send us to our second technical timeout. 16-15 in favor of D Navigators. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Walang malaking blocker sa matalinong spiker. Hindi lang naman po lahat is all about lakas, tsaka height. Minsan po, timing din po. Tsaka kung matalino ka pong spiker, malusot at malusotan mo rin po ang blocker. Ayun po yung sabi ng coach. Kaya ayun po yung ini-instill ko po sa akin na kailangan maging ganun po ako every time na naglalaro sa loob.
Well, at this level of sport, napaka-cerebral ng ating mga players as we now focus on your favorite NBA superstars now on NBA TV Philippines, now available on Signal Play. Download the Signal Play app on the App Store and Google Play and subscribe now to catch all the action this new NBA season. There's Greg Dolor. And Barbie San Andres, back-to-back points to give momentum and extend the lead of the Navigators here by 2.
No intimidation factor whatsoever para kay San Andres.
Two-point lead. San Andres has played a key factor here. Kanina, makita natin lahat ng mga atake ni Barbie San Andres was checked by the PGJC Navy. But all of a sudden, one-person wrecking crew, si San Andres.
3 straight for the Mapua standout.
Sakto, linabas natin yung favorite quote niya.
Advantage tayo sa harapan. Ha? Pasahan lang muna natin ng maayos. Ha? Taas natin yung pasa para makatake tayo ng maganda. Okay? O, sige, tara.
Huwag natin madaliin yung pasa, hindi tayo makakampas. Wala tayong pasa, ha?
Let's go.
Well, as per usual, the passing game has to be improved para sa PGJC Navy Sea Lions. That actually has been the most common comment or the most common reminder ni Coach Mike sa matchup na to. 3-point lead para sa D Navigators. Oh, Dayan Dante with a defensive effort. San Andres, soft touch, dealt well with. Santos. Triple block. Did its job.
Alive.
Oh, San Andres cannot miss.
Make that 4 straight points for Barbie San Andres. This is crucial for the Navigators. But let's also give credit to the defenders of the Navigators. Walang bolang namamatay in transition.
Si Mads Gampong actually had that last effort before that point. And for the Navy, can they right the ship here? Yes, they can. That time, Mads Gampong couldn't save it. At napaka-importante yun para sa Navy. Reducing the lead to 3.
Sa wakas, sabi ni Coach Mike, he really wanted to get one rotation in. PGJC Navy will now have 3 attackers in the front row, plus the back row option for Greg Dolor.
And at that time, San Andres tried to find the line, but will not get that. At sinabi ni San Andres, babawi daw siya. Greg Dolor trying to make this a 1-point game.
Tough serve from Greg Dolor.
And don't look now, the Navigators have broken the 20-point mark here in set number 3. Sumagaysay on service line as the Navigators trying to make this a 4-set ball game. They're blocking here for the Navigators. As Villanueva pushed that across. And that will be 2-touch from PGJC.
Yes. Double contact violation. Everything was happening so fast. Both teams displaying a lot of hustle in our sequences. But that's already a 4-point lead for the Navigators, really looking to extend our match. We've seen a lot of crazy things in the sport of volleyball.
Well, let's see if we have another crazy one in store. Because right now, Gambong and the rest of the Navigators could not be stopped.
Ang nahanap na ni Coach Boyet yung perfect starting 6 niya.
And the Navigators are feeling it here today as Sumagaysay with the serve. We go back to San Andres. And San Andres puts the Navigators within 2 points of claiming their first frame here today as Navy calls for time.
Nagpapadala tayo sa ingay nila eh. Di ba? Nagpapadala tayo sa ingay nila oh. Siyempre tayo nagpapapekto nun. Papapekto tayo na mismo yung nag-error. Okay? So, tandaan natin. Makakaroon mo tayo ng maayos eh. Ha? Isa-isa muna. Kaya ba, malayo pa yan. 2 points pa. Ha? Kaya nga bullying yan. Oo, grabe ka sabi yan.
Let's go.
Well, let's take a look at that last sequence here as San Andres able to score and the coaching staff said, okay, don't chase it anymore. Baka masaktan ka pa. Kiel. Now that is so much better here coming from the PGJC Navy Sea Lions. And they're absolutely right. Still a chance here for Navy to come up with a bit of a run of their own.
De La Vega is not on the floor for PGJC Navy, so somebody has to step up when it comes to offense.
And almost kept alive, but San Andres has been irresistible dito sa set number 3.
Kanyang-kanya tong set na to. He has registered a lot of points already offensively for the Navigators.
And we are now at set point here as the Navigators were so close to extending this one. And now Navy have a chance to try and go on a little run of their own as they sue for time. This isn't it.
Pasa lang.
Bata. Ito.
Atake tayo ha.
Team, ang blocking nila, yung open spiker, nakakommit na doon sa quicker natin. So discard ka, mainam ang spacing tayo dito sa kaliwa. Hindi, pero ang tumatao sa quicker natin, open spiker nila. Open spiker nila. Okay, so, tapos yung quicker dito, naghihintay kung saan mo isisit. So, lagi tayo!
Very tactical there, coming from the huddle of the Navigators, trying to see their way into a set number 4.
Numbers for San Andres in set number 1 only registered a single point. Set number 2, 2 points. But here in set number 3, 8 points. All attacks.
What a time to explode here as they were battling for survival. But right now it is Navy looking for a bit of survival here in set number 3. And that'll do it as we go to a set number 4, 25-19 in favor of the Navigators. Signs of life here from Iloilo. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Welcome back. You're still watching the Spikers Turf Invitational Conference 25-19 in favor of D Navigators Iloilo to extend this contest 2-1 still though, the lead for the PGJC Navy Sea Lions. Neil Flores is my partner here today. Neil, what was different there for D Navigators?
I have one name for you. Ben San Andres happened for the Navigators. Now with 11 points, joining the double-digit club alongside Toto de la Vega and Greg Dolor. Ben San Andres was really in the forefront, especially nung nag-pull away itong Navigators, scored 4 or 5 consecutive points. And now they're back on top in the attacking department. 15 against the 10 of the Sea Lions. Even in the blocking department, nawala yung defense ng PGJC Navy. At one point in this match, they were able to get 6 skill blocks. But now, wala silang naitala sa category na yan. So here in the fourth set, PGJC Navy has to regroup defensively kasi they had a lot of problems also when it comes to the first pass. And yun yung nagiging reminder ni Coach Mike paulit-ulit. We have to deliver a good pass first before we attack the defense of the Navigators.
Itong si San Andres had 8 attack points in set number 3 alone. That is more than half of the attacking output ng D Navigators sa set number 3. Ang tanong ngayon, can San Andres continue that here going to set number 4? Kasi nakita natin, especially in set number 2, when they got San Andres' number, San Andres could not produce. 4 times denied in terms of attacking in set number 2. Change in set number 3. Ano kaya mangyayari dito sa set number 4?
Momentum is clearly on the side of the Navigators. They can use that to their advantage, but they have to start strong again if they want to send us to a 5th and deciding set.
And of course, that's what we all want, more free volleyball. But we'll see if we're going to get that here today. The Navigators are looking for a win here after dropping their last 2 games. PGJC Navy lost their last one and trying to get back on the winning track. As Barbie San Andres on the service line para sa D Navigators. Safe serve, Pudadera with a setup. And that is a great first point para sa PGJC Navy.
Alicando will be the starting middle blocker for the Navigators. Papahinga muna si Nashnur Sidik. We haven't seen Edward Camposano come back.
Omar Liok on the service line para sa Navy. San Andres with the reception and scoring off the block.
Fresh legs for Coach Boyet Del Moro.
And a chance here for D Navigators to take the lead. And that time getting a bit of help from the tape. Pudadera to set up again. De La Vega. Too much.
That is why he is the top scorer. Toto de la Vega very confident from the right wing. Again, na-delay si JV Sumagaysay. Sumabay siya sa middle blocker ng Sea Lions.
Milo Hasmin on the service line here para sa Navy. That time, the block unable to stay in, so the point will go the way of D Navigators, all knotted up at 2. Well, this could be one of the closer frames based on how the opening exchanges have been.
They're just exchanging points at this stage.
Pudadera with the setup. And scoring off the block of Villamor.
De La Vega decided to change direction. Cross court was way open. He decided to use the block of Villamor to his advantage.
And here's De La Vega now. Star man para sa PGJC Navy. Sumagaysay. It felt like I was watching that in slow motion. As it was picture perfect. Let's take a look at that again.
Short slide for JV Sumagaysay. Kanina pa natin siya nakikita sa mga normal liquid plays. Ngayon naman, they're trying to get a couple of points from that slide attack.
That time scoring off the block. No team letting the other get too far ahead. 4-3 in what has been a quickly played set number 4 here. No real extended rallies. 4-3 the count so far in favor of Navy. Sumagaysay with the soft touch and the net violation, I believe, against the Navy. And the up will be tagged with that. Pudadera with a setup. And what an answer for Navy. Peter Kiel with the score. San Andres. Check that time. They go back to San Andres. Slowed down by the blocking. Pudadera, the setup.
Oh, money for Pudadera and Hasmin. Clear view of the skies for PGJC Navy. Diyan madalas nilalabas yung mabilis na quick attack pag nagkakagulo yung defense pattern nasa kabila.
2-point lead para sa Navy. San Andres. And better job here from Navy checking San Andres. And unable to find the blocker. Ball will go the way of the D Navigators. 1-point lead para sa Navy. Pudadera. Great setup. That time the point goes to Navy.
Lifting violation called on Alicando.
So we are 1 point away from the technical timeout. Navy trying to send us there. At napaka-importante para sa D Navigators to not let the PGJC Navy extend their lead here. Oh, but that'll be a service ace as San Andres unable to control that. All of a sudden, a 3-point lead for Navy as we go into technical timeout number 1. Don't go away.
You're still watching the Spikers Turf Invitational Conference 2024, where power meets passion. Now, Paulo and Neil coming from the huddle of the PGJC Navy Sea Lions. Of course, Coach Mike Santos emphasized 2 things, and that was their lack of enjoyment and also how they were way too complacent in that 3rd set. They thought that they owned the game already and just started relaxing in that set. Now, Coach Mike also specifically talked to middle blocker Hasmin and talked to him about his service errors. He doesn't usually play like this, and Coach Mike isn't sure what changed, but he needs Hasmin and everyone else to wake up and cheer in every point that they make to make sure that they take home the win. Back to you guys.
Strong words there from Coach Mike as we have now visual proof na hindi sanay si Ayana Perlas na may backup dancer. As we take a look at what we've seen here so far. As the PGJC Navy Sea Lions, who have checked San Andres for majority of this frame, were unable to stop San Andres in the last one. Free ball to play with here. D Navigators looking for someone. And that time, getting it done as Delor could not get the timing right.
It's turning out to be a really close set between the Navigators and PGJC Navy. 1-point lead for the Sea Lions. Looking to win this in 4 sets. Ito namang the Navigators Iloilo are trying to force a 5th and deciding set.
Oh, and that was a stinging hit. The point going the way of the Navigators. Omar Liok with a much-needed point para sa Navy.
we have to commend the distribution of Pudadera. 17 excellent sets with 2 points.
Pushed across. Oh, and so opportunistic para kay Hasmin. And there will be a net touch challenge. And everyone actually, the Navigators are pointing at the net as soon as the point was scored. Let's see if they have they had rather the right view.
The Sea Lions are contesting the call from the first referee na lifting / double na yung contact from the setter. Now it is going to be a net touch challenge.
So we'll see if they can get this one right. Crucial here para sa D Navigators. San Andres found a bit of a rhythm, and there it is, net fault.
Yes, they.
No hiding from that. Great challenge here from D Navigators. Another look at that there. This happened so quickly. Pudadera with the setup.
Hasmin got that point back after the error he committed.
And Hasmin on the service line is exactly what Ayana Perlas was talking about a while ago. Na pinagsabihan daw siya ni Coach Mike, you don't normally serve like that. So let's see if that will change. Apparently not.
Consistent ka pa, wa?
Pre-empt na tayo ni Ayana Perlas dyan. So I blame Ayana for that one. As Coach Mike having a word there with Hasmin. Pudadera with the setup. Villamor with the block. De La Vega brings that back to Dolor. And that time getting a bit of the tape and none of the line.
Detmer again, this time at 10. Both teams are committing unforced errors.
Pudadera. And Dolor answers back to give the lead to Navy. Here's Villamor. Oh, what a defensive effort there from the back. And that time, Dolor has turned it up a gear.
Sugal yon from the Navigators, just setting up one blocker against the high-leaping Greg Dolor.
Let's take a look at that again. Grabe yung effort ni Liok and Pudadera finding Dolor. Oh, that was a stinging serve again. Oh, and the quick thinking of the setter, Dayan Dante.
He's one of the offensive setters that we have here in the Invitational Conference. He doesn't do it all the time. But when he does that move, ang taas ng chance na makapatay.
Pudadera.
Oh, what a hit from Peter Kiel. Target locked.
Definitely enjoyed that. As Kiel gives a 2-point lead to the PGJC Navy. Another look at that. And ooh, Sumagaysay with the answer and acknowledgement. That was a pretty set.
What a showdown between Sumagaysay and Peter Kiel. Palitan lang sila ng puntos.
Sumagaysay with the serve rather. And Peter Kiel answers
with a stare down.
Sabi niya, what you can do, I can do better. Two-point lead para sa Navy. Villamor could not lift that up high enough. (15 serving 12 here.
The Sea Lions have now established a 3-point cushion in this all-important fourth set.
Ito naman si San Andres.
Hitting that on top of the block of Pudadera. Straight to Toto de la Vega.
Here's another look at that here. Perfect angle. De la Vega could not do anything about it. Still 2-point lead though. Lamang pa rin ang PGJC Navy as they are looking to end just a one-game losing skid. While the Navigators, on the other hand, trying to arrest a 2-game losing run. As we go to the second technical timeout with Navy up by 3.
Si Coach George kasi ngayon wala. Parang November pa siya makakapunta. So andyan si Coach Mike na kung kumukontinue sa sistema ni Coach George. Yun nga nung last season, matagal lang kami nagsama ni Coach George, so nakaka-adapt kami. So, manalo matalo, at least we give our best.
The PGJC Navy Sea Lions trying to put away the D Navigators Iloilo here. Just a 3-point lead as San Andres blocked and shut down.
Blocking is back for the Sea Lions, now with a 4-point lead. This is what they missed in the previous set. 0 kill blocks for PGJC Navy.
Norsidic stopped there. Reto pa rin ang D Navigators. Espanso, great defensive effort. And that time scoring off the block.
That was just pure force from Mads Gampong. Block was closing in, but he still found a way to squeeze that one through.
Soft serve there for San Andres. And that time scoring off the block. Itong si De La Vega. 4-point lead for the PGJC Navy. Still a 4-point lead here. As Navy look to be smooth sailing, but the Navigators want to roughen their waters. Great coverage here for Navy. De La Vega tried to brush that off the blockers, and no check, says the official. So the point will go to the Navigators.
Push was just too strong for Toto de la Vega. Wanted to get a touch on the block.
As Norsidic, chance to trim the lead down to 2. Ito naman si Pudadera with a setup to Dolor. Popped up.
Dolor is on fire for the Sea Lions. They are maintaining that 4-point lead. Now, the Navigators will be forced to push that timeout button.
Siglahan nyo. Kailan sa blocking pa. Kailan mapigil sa ibabaw pa lang.
Eh, pasa muna tayo, re-receive tayo.
Pasa. Kapitan natin yan, kapitan natin.
Kuya, pasahan muna natin, bro.
Dikit natin bago mag-22 sa...
Let's go, apat lang yan.
Apat lang yan, apat. Come on.
Eh, trabaho.
The Navigators trying to pick themselves up here, trailing by 4 against the PGJC Navy Sea Lions and staring at the potential 3-game losing skid here in the early days of the Invitational Conference here in Spikers Turf. Dagook coming back in for the PGJC Navy Sea Lions as they're trying to see off the D Navigators. They're former rivals in the bronze medal matchup in the Open Conference. And San Andres unable to receive that properly as the passing, the first ball not working out here for the D Navigators as the Dagook mobbed in the celebration of that ace.
The Sea Lions are targeting the outside spikers of the Navigators. They're targeting San Andres. They're also targeting Villamor para kahit papano matanggal sa equation yung middle blockers.
Pushed across. A chance here for D Navigators to come up with an attack. And looking for a check ball. They're going to get it. Point going the way of D Navigators.
Mads Campong saving the day.
And that's an important sight here. Something to smile about, something to laugh about. As they are trying to play catch-up here, trailing by 4 with D Navigators staring at what could be a 3-game losing skid if things don't change. But De La Vega has been such a sure thing in this game. (21-16). D Navigators looking for the right way to a comeback. But with players like De La Vega doing really well, things have been difficult for D Navigators. Podadera. Oh, that was great for Kiel.
Peter Kiel coming in hot for that quick attack.
Sige lang, pang kayong kantulo dyan, no?
Go lang, go lang, go lang, go lang.
Eh, tatlo pa lang.
Malayo pa,
Balik tayo,
malayo pa.
balik tayo. Eh, Nabi!
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Well, the most vocal person in that huddle was JV Sumagaysay, who, as we heard a while ago from Mayana Perlas, has trying to become more vocal, to become more impactful in the games, and will try to do that here as they try to mount a comeback with Navy 3 points away from claiming this match.
JV is a very competitive volleyball player, so ayaw niya talagang natatalo. So you can definitely sense the frustration from his end. Hindi pa naman tapos. Yes, they are down by 5 points, but a while ago, they were able to mount that run. Let's see if mauulot nila yun. But Peter Kiel has other plans.
Parang gusto nang umuwi ni Peter Kiel. So 2 points left going into a potential win here. Talking about the PGJC Navy Sea Lions. Greg Delor. Espanso with the reception. San Andres!
San Andres saying that it's not yet over. I'm in the front row now. Let's see if kaya pa niyang mabura itong 5-point lead ng Sea Lions.
Remember, he had an 8-point set number 3. Need something similar here if they want to extend this one against the Navy. Got that off the blockers. And D Navigators are now staring at the jaws of defeat as Navy are looking to put this to bed. With a win here, the PGJC Navy will see their record improve to 2-1, and D Navigators will unfortunately see themselves drop down to 1-3, sharing the second to the last spot alongside Martelli Meets. Espanso, here's San Andres, soft touch, and that's good.
It's not yet over till it's over. San Andres will continue to fight for the Navigators.
As Dayan Dante troops to the service line here. Having to pitch a perfect game from the service line. They want to stay alive. And as I say that, service error will end the matchup here with the D Navigators falling short against the PGJC Navy Sea Lions. 25-19 here in set number 4 to absorb a 3-1 loss. As the Navy now back on the winning track, advanced to a 2-1 slate in the Invitational Conference early on here.
De La Vega will finish with 20 points in this match. Very impressive performance from the PGJC Navy Sea Lions. They're back. They're winning ways. They will improve their record to 2-1.
3-1 in terms of sets in favor of the PGJC Navy Sea Lions against D Navigators Iloilo. Don't go away. We'll be right back with some analysis when we return. Welcome back. You're still watching the 2024 Spiker Surf Invitational Conference as the PGJC Navy Sea Lions take the win 3-1 against the D Navigators Iloilo. As Ayana Perlas is with our best player of the game, Toto De La Vega. Ayana, take it away.
Thank you so much, Paolo and Neil. And yes, joining me now is the best player of the game from the PGJC Navy Sea Lions. Winning in 4 sets, we have Toto De La Vega. Congratulations, Toto, to you and your team. Nakachamba daw sila. But then, of course, you had a marvelous performance. Grabe, 20 points, 10 attacks, 7 blocks, and 3 aces. First of all, nakita naman natin dun sa third set na medyo nagkaroon kayo ng lapses and errors. Could you talk to me about kung ano ba yung mga naging in-game adjustments ninyo kaya kayo nanalo in this game?
Yun nga yung sa third set, nagkulang kami dun sa service receive talaga kasi yun, nawala kami ng receive, then yung lapses namin, yung communication nawala na kasi tahimik na eh. So, ginawa lang namin nung fourth set, nag-adjust lang kami, na nag-ingay lang, in-enjoy lang namin, yun, nanalo.
Now, Toto, actually, alam ko na lahat kayo nagko-contribute sa team ninyo, pero nakwento sa akin ni Coach Cecil na medyo may struggling pa rin kayo or medyo nag-struggle pa rin kayo in terms of chemistry, in terms of communication, kagaya ng sinabi mo.
Correct.
Para sa'yo, after this game, saang porsyento na kayo as a team para ma-achieve nyo yung goal na yun na iangat ang bronze medal ninyo in this conference?
Malayo pa, hindi ko masabi kasi every game, kasi hindi kami nagtutugma-tugma na sabay-sabay na may laro eh. So, hopefully yung chemistry tsaka yung teamwork. So, magsabay. So, hopefully ma-maintain namin yung bronze medalist.
Yes, hopefully ma-maintain nyo talaga. And of course, congratulations again, Toto. Now, it's your time na pwede ka na mag-greet sa lahat ng mga sumusuporta sa team ninyo.
Sa lahat ng PGJC Navy supporters namin, maraming salamat po. And then sa family ko sa Aklan, then sa wife ko sa Bacolod. Yun.
Thank you so much, Toto. Once again, congratulations. Our best player of the game, Toto de la Vega of the PGJC Navy Sea Lions. Back to you guys.
That was Toto de la Vega with Ayana Perlas as we take a look at some of the highlights from set number 4. It wasn't necessarily smooth sailing all the way para sa PGJC Navy Sea Lions, but they got the job done, even shutting down the Barbie San Andres, what 8 points in set number 3 was not as effective in the 4th frame.
There was a setback for the PGJC Navy Sea Lions in set number 3, but as Toto de la Vega mentioned, they came together in the 4th set, mas nag-enjoy sila. So, umangat ulit sila when it comes to the attacking category. 18 compared to the 11 of the Navigators. They controlled the service line. They found the right targets, and that was the reason why they were able to engage the attackers on the floor. And for PGJC Navy, konting tweaking na lang siguro that the unforced errors category, mas madami silang naibigay compared sa Navigators. But looking ahead, at least they are aware that service reception is not their strongest suit. So that is something that they have to work on, especially pag haharapin na nila yung higher ranked teams. And for Toto de la Vega, I'm sure hindi lang bronze medal yung goal. They want to enter the finals here in the Spikers turf.
And they want to do that, but they have to face off against so many other competitors, especially those in that 6 p.m. game. The Crisscross King Crunchers against the Signal HD Spikers, undoubtedly the highlight of the games happening on Sunday. That'll all be in the Phil Sports Arena in a triple header. Thank you very much for joining us here on the Spikers Turf. I'm Paulo Del Rosario alongside Neil Flores. Ayana Perlas, who's our courtside reporter here today. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you for the next ones.